Hey.
Oh, finally, yay! Technology
Uh,
sometimes makes harder, doesn't it?
I had those issues yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, well, nice to see you.
Nice. Thank you for
Yeah.
inviting me to to be a part of your life, and I hope we can, give
Yeah,
information to everyone that is joining us.
yeah, absolutely. Um, so I, so I guess we start now, Natalia. Yeah. Okay. So we'll be talking about partner visa with Nia Lopez, and I'll be covering the Australian marriage process. And then we'll cover some questions and things like that at the end of it.
Yes.
So do you want to start and just introduce yourself, Nia?
Yes.
Okay.
My name is Nia Lopez. Okay, I'm originally from Brazil. On 15th of March, now will be 22 years that I'm living in Australia. And my journey as a migration agent started in 2006 when I registered, and I have been working as a registered migration agent here in Australia since 2006. And one of my favorite visas is partner visas because every love story is so amazing, the connections, how the couples met and all the everything that's around the relationship. And I have been doing partner visas for since 2006, and most of them, I would say 90%, 95, 99% successful. So I think, it is a very good visa that you can explore when you come to Australia and you fall in love with Australia. So that's what we are going to talk today, right?
That's why you haven't gone home. That's why you've made Australia your home.
Exactly. I'm a witness, of the love and how you apply for a partner visa being here in Australia. I did the application myself. And it's when I did 21 years ago was a little bit easier. Now things got a little bit more complicated, but we are going to address all this, and you are going to, help with the legal side of getting married. That this side, I have no idea. I know how to apply for a visa, but how to get married, have no idea.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for sharing that.
Mm.
And yeah, I'm Angela Papakalodoukas. I was actually born in Australia in a small country town in Victoria. I moved to the city to get work, I guess, when I was, near 20 years old, and I've been here ever since. I've been with my partner for 22 years. We've married 11 years ago, have four beautiful teenagers, and they were part of our wedding because we got married after the children. Um, Celebrancy, I'm quite a new celebrant. It's always been something that I've wanted to do. Just busy with life and all the other things and interests that I have. And just recently, last year, I became registered, and
Yes,
I'm really glad
congratulations.
that, yeah, thank you. And I'm really loving the process. I'm loving working with couples to create unique ceremonies, and there's a number of different ceremonies and different things involved in that, which I can cover. And that's probably it about me too. So, yeah. So I guess if you wanted to, Nia, talk about the partner visa process.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
I can start. When you are going to apply for partner visa, people ask me, "Oh, how many kind of visas are for partner visas?" There is just one visa, is the partner visa. But within the partner visa, there are three different pathways that you can apply for. There is the pathway that you are in a de facto relationship. For definition, the legislation definition of de facto is that you have been in a genuine and exclusive relationship with your partner for at least 12 months. The other pathway is that when you register your relationship with the government. It's not the legal marriage. It's just a notification to the government that you are in a de facto relationship. You are not legally married. And then we have the legal marriage, that is the one that you do, right? The marriage celebrant, and that's the what we call really the marriage certificate and the wedding. That's the marriage pathway. So the three of them are very different from each other. The de facto, 12 months together. The relationship, you have to register your relationship with the government. And the third is getting married, legally married. But within these three pathways, you have to always satisfy 4 requirements for the partner visa. That is the commitment to be with your partner for a long term, the financial aspects of the relationship, the social aspects of the relationship, and the nature of the household. Doesn't matter which one you are going to apply for the visa, you have to prove the government that you can satisfy these 4 requirements. Just a few examples, because it's a long process, it involves lots of documents, but just to give, I don't know if I have time, but I'll just give a little idea of what is involved in each of these aspects, okay? Starts with the financial aspects, is that how you are managing your finances as a couple. If you have a joint bank account, if you don't have a joint bank account, if you nominated your partner for the superannuation as your beneficiary, if you have joint rental agreement, if you have a joint house insurance, car insurance, is all the financials that you have the commitment with your partner or with your husband. That's what is a little bit what's involved in financial aspects. When you are talking about the social aspects, immigration wants to be sure when you apply for a partner visa that the family, your friends and family know about your relationship. Sometimes for religions or religion reasons, or couples don't tell the families, and that's fine too. Don't let this, say, but we don't, the family doesn't know, so we cannot apply for partner visa. Yes, you can, because you have friends that probably know of the relationship. So is that about someone in the society knows that you and your partner or your husband are together? The commitment for each other is what you are planning for the future as a couple, because we get married because we want to be together forever. I don't think anyone gets married just thinking, lodge a partner, we think, I'm not going to be with this person forever. We want to, be with our loved one forever. So that's the commitment that you have to your partner. Do you want to have kids? You don't want to have kids? How do you see your future with that person? The other one is the funny one, is the nature of the household, that involves as well, just if you have what you do together as a couple, but as how you manage your daily life. I always joke, how when you're going to lodge a partner visa, you have to write your love story. And in your love story, you have to tell who does the cooking, who does the cleaning, who does the washing, how you manage your day, your household, not just the finances. And it's hilarious that by doing so long, most of the time we girls in the end doing most of the housework. We still do, but that's fine. Every couple is different. So that is the 4 aspects that doesn't matter which pathway you go through, you have to show immigration that you satisfy.
I think it's important, like you said, that if your mind's looking at it as a future for life thing, then I guess you've got more chance of making that happen as well.
I believe so. I have, look, some doing this for such a long time. It is when you meet the couples, you probably have this feeling with time and with, experience. You can see how the couples interact. You can see, the way their body language. You can read a little bit of the couples. And I always say to my couples when they're going to apply for a visa, look, partner visa is a commitment. Is not you cannot just lodge a visa, a partner visa, think that that's the way for you to get the visa, because for immigration you are looking at being together for at least 4 years. And I always joke as well, when you get married or you are leaving someone for love, it is hard sometimes. You have your ups and downs. It's part of the couple's life. Imagine you leave someone, every day that you do not love, just because you're a visa. Because part of the visas is already a very long commitment to someone. And that's what is important, that you have to really have that feeling.
And that can go on to the children as well. So it's very
Exactly.
important. Yeah, absolutely.
And when you do your celebrations, I'm sure you're going to talk how it works. And I think you have to as well talk to the couples about, their expectations as a couple. And I'm right. How does it work really as your side? I'm doing the hard side, let's say.
I'm doing the fun side.
Yeah, you do it so beautiful, see that beautiful ceremonies. So how does it work? I do always this, but it would be very interesting to hear from someone how it works.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for sharing that. It's really interesting. I've got a few questions myself, and maybe others have that I will ask after. I'll just sort of cover a few things now then. Yeah, so basic wedding, there's only a few things that are requirements. The rest is built about just from the couple, what they want to add in to make the ceremony, their day, their unique day. So the monotum's something that is illegal, words that myself as a registered celebrant have to say. So that's a definite. The vows, there's certain words that the couple must say, but then they can add in anything, any special words that they want after that. And I think it's a good idea for couples to sort of go away, think about why they're marrying this person, how this person makes them feel, those sort of things. And write special words that, mean something on the day. I think it's important that it's seen like that those words do mean something. Both partners are saying it and both partners are hearing it. And so we've got to recognize that, what we say to somebody, they take on, and we really need to respect that and keep that promise, to keep trust and to keep respect and all of those underlying things that keep a relationship growing and blooming. Vows. So we also need 2 witnesses here in Australia who need to be over the age of 18. So a basic wedding could just be the bride or the 2 couple, bride and groom, groom and groom, however it works, and 2 witnesses. And then from there it can go on to as many guests as you want, but as a basic. And then there's some legal documents that need to be signed and witnessed. So that's the basics. And everything else from there, music, readings, even the rings, the giving of the rings or exchanging of rings is a ritual. Many people do it, most people do it, but it's not something that must be done. But it's, it just seems to have blended in and it is done. So the process would really be approach a registered celebrant and complete a NOIM. Actually, I have one here. Notice of intention to marry. This has to happen at least 1 month before the wedding day. If there's certain special sort of situations, maybe somebody's ill or something like that, then there can be a shortening of time, but that's just more paperwork that needs to be put in. So usually 1 month before the wedding, the norm is the couple will sort of meet the celebrant, sign this document, which has all of their information. You'll need to witness their passport, their birth certificate, so sort of photo ID, that sort of thing. And from there, that's it. We create a ceremony. In Australia, anybody can marry. So if you were coming over here for a holiday and you fit the criteria, so you weren't already married, or if a divorce had already gone through, you can basically just marry here inside Australian borders or water. If they're overseas, we do need, and there is a divorce that's happening, we do need to see the actual original document. So that sometimes would be the only sort of downfall. So if somebody is coming over here to get married, they must bring that with them. If there was no divorces and it was sort of, just first-time marriage, then that's okay. We can do all the documents here. We just need to see passport and birth certificate. The NOIM can be signed overseas, a notice of intention to marry, if the person over there is a authority to do so, and they do witness the original documents, then they can send that over to us, and then we can sort of marry that way as well. So the basic is monotum, vows, 2 witnesses, and signing the documents, and everything else is the fun stuff. Mm-hmm. Including children, including pets, and favorite songs, and obviously from one extreme to another, everybody's unique, and can be basically anywhere. I have a wedding this weekend. It's 2 hours from here in the country, overlooking beautiful mountains, and there's a beautiful lake and alpacas, and the next one is on a farm, but it's a small wedding, just the 2 witnesses and a couple, and then it just varies. So that's the fun part, being able to build it, making it mean something, and also trying to get the couple to enjoy the day, slow down, have everything prepared, and we sort of will lead them through it. There is two types of weddings that I perform at this stage, just to sort of make it simple. Legals only, which is what I ran through before, just the very basics for those that don't want that. They just want no fuss, just like to be married in private, that sort of thing. And then the full ceremony, which is where we'll meet, we'll discuss what their plans are, what their ideas are, and then, I'll have like a template, and then they'll start to populate. I'll populate it with their information. So what sort of song would they like? Do they want a song? What sort of readings? Here's some suggestions, or make your own, or provide your own. And then I'll do a little spiel about the couple. So I'll give them an interview sheet with lots of questions. They can fill out whichever ones that relate to them, and then I can sort of add that into a nice little story, and then follow through with the rings and the vows and the introduction of Mr. and Mrs. or Mrs. and Mrs. or Mr. and Mr. whatever it happens to be. Yeah. So that's really it.
Angela, and one thing that I think is important to, when we are talking about marriage as well, for when you finish your ceremony, you always give marriage certificates, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yes. Yeah. And for immigration purposes, that is what we call the fantasy. It's not the fantasy, but we call it as a marriage certificate. And the couples have to get a part, besides the one that you give to them, they have to get one from the birth, marriage, and that office, because that's can you explain what's the difference between the 2 marriages, the certificates?
Yeah, sure. The one that we present on the day is a beautiful certificate. It's a commemorative certificate, and that's primarily what it's for, to put on display or just to have something nice.
Mm.
To have the official marriage certificate, they do need to apply. At the moment, I think it's like $38 if they do it themselves online. And then the birthdays and marriages will basically send it out to them. That is the legal certificate that all authorities are interested in. Yeah.
Yes, because some couples come to me to when they are going to apply for the visa, and they bring me your commemorative marriage certificate. We can launch the application with your, certificate, but they have to provide later on the official, the legal marriage certificate, because they most of the time they ask me, but why this one is not valid? I say, it is valid because you have a number in the back that you register that certificate as well, right? But it's just for legal purposes. I have to have as well the one from the birth, marriage, and office. That is, the clients get a little bit confused. They are both marriage certificates. Right.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for that too, because that just reminds me to, make sure that we cover that and make sure that that's clear to anyone who's going through that process. There also is a declaration, which, so a lot of the times we go on what they're telling us, and to a certain extent. And so there is a declaration that the couple will sign just before they're married. And it will basically be then making sure that they understand that everything's been, out in the open. There's no sort of underlying divorces or anything that's, or they're not married again, or those type of things. There's no problem. There's no reason that they believe that they shouldn't be married. So it's a pretty important document as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it happens sometimes as well that when you are lodging, for example, a partner visa based in the de facto relationship, it is possible for you to not be divorced yet from your partner to lodge the partner visa. That's why there are the three different pathways. Because if you are going to be legally married, like when you do your celebration, your ceremony, you must be divorced, because you cannot, in Australia, you cannot have two wives or two husbands. So you have to, at this moment, you have to have just one. And they get a little bit confused. They say, oh, but I'm not divorced yet, but I'm going to, but I've been living with this person for 2 or 3 years. I said, that's not a problem, because that's why the de facto pathway, you still do not need to be, you don't need to be divorced yet. We can lodge the application since you are really just one person. You cannot be just say, oh, I'm in a de facto relationship, but I'm still living with both. No, it doesn't work. It has to be just one. But it is
that's
possible.
right. So one partner, and that's actually in the monotum. It is one partner. There are practices here where people do have more than one partner, but that would be more a commitment ceremony, not a legal marriage ceremony or anything like that. Yeah. Another important part is too that the couple must be both over 18. Exactly. If they are under 18, there are processes that need to be absolutely go through. So which can make it just a little bit more time consuming and things like that. But there are some reasons.
The same applies as well to the when you lodge a partner visa, you must be over 18. If you are under 18, it's a really lengthy and a little bit more complicated process. So the 18 is when you are adult in legal terms, you can lodge, but it's very complicated. Yeah.
So being married, does it make the process easier?
Yes and no. Why? Because again, even if you may, for example, I'm going to, probably it's easy if I give an example to explain. Okay? Some couples I say love doesn't, has time. It doesn't, happens anytime. You can meet someone today and fall in love and get married tomorrow. There is nothing against the law about it. It's just, again, if you are married, for example, you don't have to be living with anyone for 12 months, like when you lodge a de facto partner visa. But again, doesn't matter that because you just married in 2-3 months, your visa is going to be approved because you are just married. You still have to satisfy the 4 criteria: the commitment, the social aspects, the financial aspects, and the household. You can't escape for that. Of course, if you, and I have to be 100% honest here, if you meet someone today and you married a person in 3 months and your visa is going to expire in the next month and you lodge the partner visa, immigration will raise a flag and say, whoa, where is really here? I know love can happen anytime, but you still have to show, all the aspects. So can make easier, but it's not because you married that your visa is going to be approved.
Yeah, sure. So it just reminded me too, the same with the NOIM, it has 18 months. So if there's for some reason the day is cancelled because of some reason, they've still got 18 months before it needs to be relooked at.
Yeah, that's important.
And it can be adjusted.
Yeah, especially because during the COVID now, I lodged a few prospective marriages. That's when you're going to get married here in Australia or somewhere and then lodge the partner visa. And we have a few, norms that have been lodged and the 18 months are over and now we have to do again because it was good mind because it's very important when we are lodging a prospective marriage visa. Yes.
Is there any other time limits? I've just got my son here. Can you just let him know? I'll ring him. This doesn't need to wait for me. Sorry. Family.
Yeah, yes.
I'm trying to hide in the shed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, what the question was? If there is any other time frames?
Time limit? Yeah, time restraints. Yeah.
Yes, when you lodge, for example, the prospective marriage, that is normally when one person is offshore and another, the Australian partner is here, and then he doesn't want to go through all the legal process to getting married offshore, then we lodge the fiancé visa or prospective marriage visa. And then when the visa is approved, the offshore partner has to come to Australia within 9 come to Australia and get married within 9 months of the grant of that visa. A lot of NOIMs are lodged, and then the visa is approved, they come and they have to change because the immigration can take a little bit longer than the date that they decide to get married. The visa was not approved, then they have to change the dates a few times until the person is here. So when
and then COVID, COVID would have had its own technical problem.
It was being very hard for the poor fiancés because they can't even come here and get married. So that's the time frame for the prospective fiancé visas, 9 months. To come to Australia, get married, and lodge the partner visa onshore.
Thanks for that. Interesting. Did you have any other questions or anything else that you're interested to know?
No, and the clients most of the time ask me is that, but I think that's you told this. Do I have to get married, in the office? Can I get married, in a farm? I think it doesn't matter where you get married, does it? No.
No, as long as it's in the Australian zone. So on Australian land, above Australian land, in Australian waters. Yeah. And it is endless. It is a unique process, and that's always unique because you've got 2 different people, never the same. different sort of situations, different moments, and that's the good thing about it, and that's the fun thing,
And that's what I
yeah.
love partner visas, because each love story is so different, and each couple has its own different, a way to express their feelings and the way that they want things to happen. And that's what makes it so interesting, because we meet people from so many different backgrounds, and different cultures, and they mix. Some of them have big weddings. They have to have the big weddings with 500, people. Other ones have these small weddings, and that's what is the fun about partner visas and married people.
Yeah, multicultural. And
Well,
there's different colored dresses. There's white dresses, red dresses, yellow dresses, and if people choose to wear dresses at all.
oh.
Yeah. So a whole range of different rituals and traditions that happen. And it's really interesting to...
Can you
We,
adapt? Oh, sorry.
oh, that's good. I was just going to say, we must provide a happily ever after, before and after. It's just a little document. And the idea of this document is just to have a small discussion with the couple, just acknowledging the fact that from today, it's like a flower. You must nurture it, you must water it, you must do things for it to remain healthy and grow and evolve, because you've got two people that are growing and evolving and changing, and communication is so important. So it's really important when people are going into this sort of thing that they are aware that they're now managing this, and it doesn't have to feel like managing, but they can build a love that's theirs and that's unique, and
Yes.
and it does require that ongoing attention for it to evolve, and all of those things. And who knows where, because that's the beauty about love. It can, just like you said, just pop up anywhere, and it grow as much as the two or more people want it to. So
Yes.
yeah, it's really important to go in with that mindset and understand that you have, I guess, you have somebody else, you have a responsibility for somebody else as well. Their feelings and obviously that's going to then affect you. So it's a great idea to make sure that it's healthy, and I guess it's really important. That's probably the most important side of it for
I
it to
think
stay.
so.
Yeah.
I always say that, getting married is so fun, if you're not too much stressed, but it is, the wedding day, all that preparations. But after, I think, is that when you really, have to learn how to respect and how to understand your other
What you've
half.
got in your hand, what you're
Exactly.
now are responsible for. It's actually our anniversary this weekend, so
Oh,
it'll be nice to go back
congratulations.
to where we got married. We got married in the botanical gardens, and
Mm,
just I guess enjoy that day.
yes,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
It's really
So
a, a
I just had a
long
couple of questions.
commitment. Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. I was just checking if I had covered these questions, and I pretty much have. So, how do you feel?
Yes, look, as I said, partner visas are brilliant. I think when two people met each other, and when, you have the feelings, you have the commitment, it's such a beautiful, story. And I think lodging of visas is a part of nowadays. The world is, COVID restricted us a little bit, but we travel so much. We online. I joke. Some couples come to me and they say, I ask her, how did you meet? What happened? And they get a little bit, you meet online. I said, that's fine. That's the new era. When I was a
It's
teenager,
one of the ways.
Yeah, we would meet people at parties, you
Mm,
know, at the parks,
mm,
whatever. Nowadays, it's online. There's
mm.
nothing wrong.
Yeah,
Now, don't feel
no,
ashamed that you met your
not at
partner
all.
online.
Yeah,
You
I've
know,
heard stories of online people that have met online, and they've grown into a great relationship. So
exactly.
who's
It's
to say?
It's
Exactly.
the new way.
Mm,
What is,
mm. Yeah, mm,
the
yeah.
world is changing. That's the way people start to meet now. And I do a lot of, it's amazing. I do a lot of arranged marriages applications because in some cultures, you the parents, arrange who you are going to get married. And in the
Mm,
beginning, I was coming from a different background. I was really, oh my God, does it work? And it works as well because people sometimes can learn to love each other and respect
mm,
each other, and the relationships last forever. So there
mm,
is so many different ways that people get together and keep together.
mm.
We cannot, I always
Definitely.
learning this, and you learn as well, we can't judge
Mm,
anything.
no.
When you are doing a
But
partner
I think,
visa, it is what it is. Mhm.
yeah, with that marriage process, sometimes it is two people that just, meet and fall in love and want to get married. Other times it might be that family always sort of, say, find someone, get married. Then you've got the arranged, and there's all these different ways. And some of them, all of them, um, can have the love in there that can last.
Yes.
Definitely. There's a
Mm.
question that popped up.
Yeah, so,
Um,
mm,
you've got that question?
yes.
Yeah, you
Uh,
can see it there. Yeah.
yes, there is any minimal time that a partner visa is approved or any possibility of not being approved? No, there is not specifically a minimum time that partner visas are approved. We have a range of partner visas being approved in 1 month, and sometimes partner visas, being approved in 2 years. Depends of each case, depends of, how you lodged your application, if it was complete or not incompleted. Is there a possibility of not being approved? Yes, there is. And I can give you some examples. Nowadays, it's not very common. Before, immigration used to make interviews with the couples. Now they don't do anymore. But there are a few, I don't know how they manage this, honestly, but sometimes people dub in couples saying, oh, they just got married because of the visa. Then the case officer will investigate and find out. It can be refused if there is any indication that they just got married because of the visa. Sometimes they are refused because they didn't provide enough evidence of their relationship. It's very rare, but yes, if you use a migration agent, probably if the migration agent will do everything for your application to not be refused. But there is no guarantee that all are going to be approved. Most of them are, I believe so. And but yes, depends on the circumstances. And there are cases that the Australian partner says, no, I don't want this marriage anymore, and then there is nothing that we can do to keep the application.
Is there a time frame before they can apply again or
Yes,
go
there
through the
is.
process again?
Yes,
Yeah.
depends on the different circumstances. For example,
Mm,
if you have been granted a partner visa, let's imagine that you have a partner visa approved, the relation didn't work, and then you meet another person. This person is offshore, let's say, or is not Australian, and you want to marry again and bring this person, or lodge another partner visa. It's a 5 years time frame that you can have to wait until you lodge
mhm,
your next partner visa. And you can have just 2 applications. Okay, you cannot lodge 3, 4, 5 partner visas. You can lodge, you can be married just twice, let's say. There are exceptions for that. For example, if the partner passes away or if anything happens, the normal rule is that you can just sponsor or lodge a partner visa twice.
Mm-hmm. Got another question there.
And if by any chance your previous visa expires, you already did the application for the partner visa but didn't have the answer yet, we get into the bridging visa. Yes, if you lodged your visa, partner visa, and your visa expired, and you're going for a bridging visa that will allow you to stay in Australia until your partner visa is decided. You have, when you lodge your partner visa offshore, you can have Medicare straight away. You don't have to wait until the visa is approved to get your Medicare. And when your bridging visa comes in effect and you lodge a partner visa, you can work full time as well. Doesn't matter. When your visa expires, even if you had a student visa before, then your student visa, you can work just 20 hours per week. Because you lodge a partner visa that is a permanent visa, you can work full time. One thing that I forgot to tell that is very important, when you lodge a partner visa, you're lodging a visa for what we call a provisional visa and a permanent visa. It's two applications at the same time. Why it happens? When you lodge the visa, and if your visa is granted within 2 years of dislodgement, you're going to have a provisional visa. It's not a permanent visa. Because immigration wants to be sure that you really are in a genuine relationship. So in 2 years after the date you lodged your partner visa, if your visa has been approved, the provisional visa has been approved, you can lodge the permanent stage. There is, once I did a course and asked a case officer, why you waited 2 years? Why you don't get the permanent, give the permanent visa straight away when the visa is approved? They said, because there is a study that 2 years is a time frame that if the relationship is not genuine, couples will not last. I said, oh, interesting. So you lodge the partner visa, but you can apply for the permanent stage just after 2 years of the first one. They want to be sure that you're really in love or you are in a genuine relationship.
Is there costs? Can they find costs for these things?
Yes, it's the most expensive visa we have now. Just to lodge a partner visa for one person, if there are no kids involved, is $7,715 just for the immigration fee. So it's a not very cheap visa. Mm-hmm.
So if after the 2 years the couple have separated in Australia, is there's then a process that they need to follow up with, or somebody will follow up with them, or
yes,
or what if they're uncontactable? Is that something that might happen?
If you have your permanent visa already, if you separated, that's not a problem.
No.
Mm-hmm. There are some circumstances that it happened. I've seen the partner, the one that had the visa approved, not the Australian, the other partner, and it leaves the Australia, say, oh, thank you very much. Now I have my permanent visa. Now I don't want to be with you anymore. They can lodge a complaint with immigration, say, look, he or she just left me, just got the, normally goes nowhere, but our case is that the visa, the permanent visa can be canceled, depends on the circumstances. Mm-hmm. The other is if during these 2 years, okay, if you don't have your permanent visa yet and your relationship breaks down and your partner or anything happens, you don't have to go back home. you still have other visas that you can apply for and stay in Australia. You can apply for a skilled visa, you can apply for an employee sponsor. And if family violence happened during this period, you also can have your permanent visa approved based in family violence. This is not, for example, unfortunately it happens. We see in the news a lot of, partners being abused. One thing that I really recommend to anyone that is in these circumstances, that lodged a partner visa and has been, abused or has been blackmailed, there are a lot, because when I say family violence, people think, oh, it's just physical. No, it's not just physical. It's emotional, it's psychological abuse as well. There are procedures, there is a procedure that you have to follow if you have been abused in some form, physically, psychologically. Don't stay with the person just thinking, I have to stay because of the visa.
They don't know what to
Look
do.
for assistance, look for, go for a migration agent, go to, a government, and you can stay in Australia. You don't have, please do not stay with someone that is abusing you just because of the visa, because you have other options. That is, we have seen so many people, and in the end, things get really, really bad. Please, there are other resources. Okay, seek for help. There is help there. Migration agents can help you. The government can help you as well.
And they provided that information through the process?
They do. And when you have, I always tell my clients as well, all the time, please, if anything happens with you, let me know, because you have other options, to follow. And the government has, when your visa, your provisional visa is approved, it comes up big as well, information from the government about family violence. It's something that the government now is really focused on. They don't want more people dying because of family violence.
And could they cover the emotional abuse? Because I think that can be something that's hidden and quite large.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a good process.
There is, and sometimes, and it is, they think, oh, but he never hit me, he never, hurt me. It's not about the physical, it's the mental, it's the psychological, because people can abuse you in so different forms, psychological, that when you see you in a black hole and you think there is no hope anymore, there is, just seek for help. There are lots of organizations out there to help.
I could imagine that would be pretty, not a very good place to be in, especially if they were feeling that someone was sort of overpowering and conniving and, those sort of things. So it's good to see that your processes are in place. Yeah.
There is a question here as well. What is the cost for you to lodge the visa? Look, if you would like to know the process, you can contact me, or through our website, 7migration.com.au, or you can send me an email, Nia at 7migration.com.au, because the prices can have a little different fee, depends on the circumstances, depends on the case, but you are looking around minimum $3,000 for a partner visa, okay? But it varies according to the different cases.
I might just cover that for myself as well. There's a whole range of celebrants here in Australia and Victoria, and who do all different types of ceremonies, all different types of prices. For myself, I do the legals only, which is $350, and whatever it takes to make that a beautiful ceremony. And the other one is $690, which is the full written ceremony. But again, with the legals, I have a legals coming up soon, and that couple will use a beautiful floral arch that I have, just as it's something that I've got, so it's something that they can use just to make their photos beautiful and things like that. But I think the most important thing to remember about marriage or being involved in someone is that it's each individual's responsibility to be themselves, to go in letting the other person know who they are. So in a way, we have to know who we are at that time, for things to work like that, because it's face value. We're going on what we can see, and so communication and going in to something with all you've got and who you are. I think it's really important.
Exactly.
It's simple, but it's so important.
Yes, and I think I'm sure you agree with me on that. Communication is the key.
Mm.
Mhm.
Mm.
And it is talking through the problems, is
Coming from different backgrounds, different traditions, and
yeah.
being open to,
Mm.
I guess, compromise and learning. Like, I mean, my husband's Greek. I mean, my background's English, born in Australia. My husband's came here when he was 4. So lots of differences. And so our 4 children have got those unique blend of differences, and some of them, we practice from his side, some from my side, and there's no set way.
Yes, and it is, and people come from different religions as well, and it's perfectly
Mm,
possible for a
mm,
couple, have different religions. We think sometimes, oh no, but
mm,
no, it is possible, and it can work
mhm,
as well. It can work very well.
mm.
It's just respect.
Yeah,
Mm,
absolutely. And I
mm.
think being who you are, knowing who you are, I think it's pretty important, because then they can see who you are, which I think is pretty important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Do-
sorry, for one more question. When you lodge the partner after the 2 years, I'm just trying to open that up. I can't seem to open it up. Can you read that next question there, Nia?
Yes, again, when you lodge the partner visa after 2 years, is automatic the resident visa, or is necessary to lodge a new application? It's necessary to lodge a new application. The Department of Migration sends you a reminder that it's time for you to lodge your permanent visa, and you have to provide again, okay, the evidence of your commitment, your social aspects, your finance, and your nature of a household. Is a new application that there is no fee, because you paid the most expensive, in the first application. But yes, you have to lodge another application. It's not automatic.
Great. I hope everybody's felt like they've got some useful information
I
that
hope
they didn't
so.
have.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah. And so I suppose Natalia is still there. Thank you, Natalia, for helping out and doing all the things you do.
And
Yeah.
thank you for inviting me, Angela. It was very nice.
Yeah, no, I
And
really appreciate it very
hopefully
much.
you can do beautiful, weddings, and I can do beautiful partner visas.
Definitely. One thing we look forward to. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll finish up now. Yeah, you good to finish up?
Yes, I think we
Yeah.
cover
Okay.
most of the aspects of my side and your side.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And they can contact you if they've got questions. You can also contact me, Angela
Mm.
from Love Beyond Words. And I actually chose that name because I think words, just for one word, there's a whole spectrum of the same word with all different meanings under it. And I think, it's pretty important that, the word love could mean lots of different things, and it's how we build the meaning underneath. So,
Yes.
happy days. I, hope everybody
Yes.
enjoyed this, and I will see you again.
Hopefully. And we can
Yeah,
talk a little bit more. Okay.
yeah, definitely. Yes,
Thank you for
definitely.
having me. Good night.
See you. See you.